Hey everyone, you're listening to Nerd Boys Comic Book Podcast. I'm Marco.
And I'm Damon.
And today we're going to talk about comics and stuff, which is in the name of our podcast, but we haven't done a comics episode in like a few weeks.
Yeah, I guess it's been a minute since we got together and talked about the things going on in the comic book industry and the mysteries of time and space.
Yes, but before we get into that, I just want to remind any new listeners to please subscribe to the channel. It helps out a lot, and you can also like and comment this video and share it with all your friends on social media.
Yeah, let us know what you like about it and what you don't like and how you want us to change, and we'll tell you that we don't care. Now, we might care. I care about what people think about me. It's my main problem. Now, continue. Let's talk about comics.
All right, first topic up today. We're going to talk about Spider-Man 2, or Spider-Men 2, by Brian Michael Bendis.
I'm part of me feels like it's too late, but part of me knows I'm still getting it anyways. Like, I'm mad because I literally had all of Spider-Man 1 now. And that series came out, I got every single issue of it because I was like, yeah, I'm getting this. This is cool. And I enjoyed it greatly. And then I bought it recently for my nephew because I was like, you should read this. You got to know about they small, so I'm like trying to indoctrinate them now.
At a young age, got to get them young.
Yeah. And
it's like a cult, really.
Yeah, exactly. I need to put them into the cult now. And it takes some grooming. Because if I started too late with my nephews, and they like haven't been able to.
Yeah, they just throw it to the ground like, fuck this.
It's just like,
give me the movies, damn it. That's
they're just like, I'm too into rap now and girls. Like, no, like that's foolish. But yeah, no, that cliffhanger. Who is the 616 Miles Morales? Which is weird now though, because
he's in the 616.
Miles Morales is the 616 Miles Morales, but
maybe not.
Yeah, apparently, no, the way I read it, it's going to, like, basically kind of be like Renew Your Vows in the sense that it'll continue as if the stuff we know didn't happen. Like, this is what would have happened otherwise. Like, I guess, like...
Really?
It wasn't a lot about it. It was just, like, a really short sentence, but it would be doing its own thing, basically.
See, the way I thought it was, I'm not entirely sure, but I thought it was going to be like, all right, we're going to explain why Miles is in the 616, what's happened, what's different for him, and we're going to fix up the continuity of this other Miles Morales and where he is, if he's displaced, or what's going on. And did our Ultimate Miles take over the life of 616 Miles?
Actually, because if you that's interesting. Because I feel like maybe if you pay attention to the book, though, like, even like, certain things didn't happen. Like, he definitely didn't date Kate Bishop.
Yeah.
That definitely didn't happen. He definitely didn't face a clone of Peter Parker. We really only have up until before his mom died as being the same thing. Everything that happened after that is from the point at which his life seems to diverge. So, I mean, it could go the way you explain it, or it could go the way, or whatever they end up doing. Because I may not have understood what they were trying to say. Because I kind of want to know, yeah. Like, maybe it was just Peter went back, he went, and this is the story of how he met Miles in this new timeline. Like, going back and being like, oh, like, Miles Morales, let me look this kid up. And then you find out, like, oh, this is how he found out that he had spider powers. And he was going around and he had this makeshift costume. Or he didn't have a makeshift costume. He wasn't doing anything, but we reports of him saving people. Who knows, you know?
Or maybe he was a supervillain.
Maybe.
Or a juvenile delinquent.
I hope not.
I hope not, too. What's the one thing that could make that, oh my god, at the end of the original series make sense?
I don't know. Maybe Miles is a villain. I always really wanted there to be, in the Ultimate Universe, I wanted there to be a Scarlet Spider whose powers came from him being a mutant or like an Inhuman or something. And he had the same name as the Japanese manga Spider-Man. But his whole thing was like, he was like kind of... He didn't feel any responsibility to anybody. He was like basically a mercenary and a thief who went around like killing people and taking stuff, and Miles had to face him off, even though he was trying to appeal to him as a human being, and dude was like, I don't give a shit about people. Like, I'm a fucking sociopath. And he's just like, God damn it, I don't know how to stop this kid. He got the same powers as me, except he's willing to kill. Like, that was my thing. Also, he has the hoodie. The hoodie is cool as hell. Except now it's a zip-up hoodie, and he's also kind of a ninja. I drew this. You can find it online someplace if you look around my shit long enough. I drew a little picture of him. Looks cool. But, yeah, that was an idea I had that has nothing to do with what we were originally talking about.
I'm sure it'll be a great thing for my compilation of tangents that we went on.
Compilation of tangents.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about the Spider-Man book. I'm excited, especially once we get to see how stuff is explained. It's a strong storyline. And what artist they gonna use? All that stuff.
Yeah. Hopefully it's what's her name from the
Sarah Kelly?
Yes.
Yeah, she is super cool, and I got to meet her once. That was awesome.
Yeah, but I think that's our general thoughts on Spider-Man 2. Excited, but hesitant.
Yeah, curious.
Yes, and has too much time passed? Do we even care? Well, we care. It's one of those.
I feel like if you're a Spider-Man fan, you care. I don't know if you care if you aren't like a Spider-Man like fan. Like you like could do without Spider-Man sometimes. You know, I don't know if you care, but I think for me, as somebody who's like Spider-Man, oh my God, everything he does is fantastic. I'm getting that book.
Yeah, and it's one of those classic comic book storylines that was actually like just dropped because the Ultimate Universe became defunct.
Yeah,
and it's why this new character is coming to the Marvel Universe. Jimmy Hudson, the son of the Ultimate Wolverine, is coming into X-Men Blue, apparently.
His whack ass. Okay. I predicted this a few months ago when they first showed the pictures of, oh, there's another Wolverine. And people were just like, oh, I wonder if it's Reyes. Oh, I wonder if it's Dakin. I wonder if it's somebody new. And I was like, it's probably Jimmy Hudson, whack ass. And he is. He just is. He's so annoying. I hate that character so much. Because he literally, imagine Wolverine, but with none of the cool issues, just a cocky asshole. Like, that's how they introduced him. He was just like, oh, I'm Jimmy Hudson. I'm hot. I drive cars. He like drove in street races and was kind of a bad boy, but not really because he like had parents who cared about him. And, you know, then he got into a car wreck and found out he could also live like, what's the name? And then he was just like, oh, I have claws. And then Kitty came and was like, oh, I'm trying to form a new X-Men. I'm trying to save people. And he's just like, oh, you sexy. Like, calm the fuck down, Jimmy Hudson. Like, you suck. Right? So then he just like annoyingly hit on Kitty for the rest of the series. And then you find out, also in the same issue he's introduced in, you find out that the metal goat grows around his claws magically.
The what?
So like he has metal on his claws, but it just grows naturally. It's an organic metal.
That's the dumbest. God damn.
No. It gets worse / better. Then later on, when they finally go into the mystery of his parentage, because you know he's Wolverine's son, and for some strange reason he's blonde. I don't know why. As an aesthetic choice, it annoys me. There are too many blonde kids.
Sabretooth's blonde. That's why.
Yeah, because he fucked Sabretooth. That's what happened. I wish that was the story. That would have been way more interesting than what they ended up doing.
No, but they always try to do that thing where it's like, Sabretooth, Wolverine, brothers, go.
Yeah, no. I don't even think they were brothers in the Ultimate Universe.
They were teasing that it was his dad, Sabretooth.
Really?
Early on Ultimate X-Men, they're like, Sabretooth had like 4 claws, and they're like, I'm your dad. I think they dropped that eventually because
there were a few things
of course
they dropped.
They made Wolverine the first mutant in the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, he is. That didn't bother me. I like that. I like that reveal of that almost made Ultimatum worth it. Like there are parts of Ultimatum I like, but the way, especially, it didn't bug me until I realized how they handled it afterwards. Because Jimmy appeared after Ultimatum. This was when they started. Like I was just like, okay, well this is cool, but now they can start bringing in new versions of characters that people like, but we never get to go into, and they should bring those characters in. Like I really wanted there to be like Kitty to like try to start her own little X-Men group, which she did, but it didn't turn out the way I hoped it would, which is them running around trying to save mutants while being on the run at the same time and stuff like that. But so back to Jimmy and how whack he is. So basically it's magical metal claws for no fucking reason, and you found out that his mom, after some long convoluted story that you don't care about, you won't care about, and I wasn't interested in, is Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch's mom.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden, also, then they brought him back, and all of a sudden, for no reason whatsoever, he was a badass. Now, mind you, Jimmy Hudson, when they introduced him, the most he is literally just a white kid in a small town. That's it. Like he probably is really good at football or something. Like they do nothing to make him more interesting or do anything more with him to make him like this is what happened to the son of Wolverine. Like he'd been through some stuff. He seen some things. He was trying to protect him from this life that life followed him anyways because he's the son of Wolverine. None of that, you know. you know, he wasn't like, I always thought it'd be cool if he was like personality wise the opposite of Wolverine, which is like, and then him having to live up to the legacy of Wolverine. But I ain't do that.
No.
What they did was they made the most bland character ever and gave him Wolverine's powers and told you to be excited about it because you like claws and healing, right? Like, no. I like that he's a small badass for no reason. Also, why is all of Wolverine's kids except Laura like tall? What the fuck is that about? Daken is literally his child with a Japanese woman. He is 4'4", 5'4", I think. He is not having a 6'3" son. That don't make no sense. Also, he looked Native American for some reason. I don't. Just back to the other thing. So them bringing Jimmy Hudson in, even when they showed him, like he might be fun now. You know, they might do something with him, but now he just has this unearned sense of like grit to him. Like he's just like, run. Like, Jimmy, shut the fuck up. Like, you had two parents that loved you. Get the fuck out of here. Like,
so there's no tragic Wolverine backstory. There's no Weapon X. There's no real reason for him to be Wolverine, really.
Yeah, he's been through multiple wars. There's none of that. Like, he's just some cocky asshole. And like,
but one question: is he a weeaboo like his dad?
No. They didn't know. It would have been really. Also, why is his mom? They could have made his mom literally anybody. It's comic books, right?
And it's the Ultimate Universe too. You could do whatever.
They just had to add to this weird fucking Ultimate Universe Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch fucking thing that they had going on, by like add another thing, or just Wolverine like possibly having fathered them and fucking Jimmy, and fuck that. Cause then he like saw them fucking at one point, so that makes that extra weird. Cause then it's just like, oh, he just watched his two kids, his possible two children fucking. Like, why would you, what like, that weird meme with that girl on the face. Like, that's all I like. So I don't know. Maybe it'll make Jimmy interesting. If he wants to have sex with Jean Grey, I'm probably gonna be done with the story. I
don't agree with this new approach to Jean Grey, but she's kind of like the bad kind of feminist lately.
What do you mean?
In X-Men Prime, Angel saves her and she gets triggered by it. She's like, I don't need to be saved by a man. And then Angel's like, I'm just trying to protect you. Like, I'm just... And then it's like this whole thing.
Wait, this was in the Prime one? Or?
Yeah, the X-Men Prime #1.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get to read that.
And the whole team's like, Jean, calm down. No need to get triggered.
Calm your shit down, Jean. Like, you needed help. He helped you out. Like, I don't know. Like, the way... I think Charles Soule is writing. Yeah, Mark Guggenheim is writing X-Men Gold, and
I thought, what's Cullen Bunn writing?
Maybe it is Cullen Bunn. I thought it was Mark Guggenheim. I was gonna say what's his name? I think Dennis Hopeless is writing X-Men Blue, and I liked that first issue a lot. A lot. I picked it up because I was on Instagram and I was like, oh. Since you draw, Jorge Malone was drawing, I follow him on Instagram, and I was like, since you're drawing this, I'm going to pick up the first issue for sure. And he was like, thanks. And I was like, oh shit, now I got to do it. So I did it because I keep my word. I try to anyways. And it was good. I like the art a lot. I like his style a lot. And then I like Dennis Hopeless. I think he's a really good writer, which is why I added him as my Facebook friend. We're not real friends, but he sees my sad post. Yeah, like I like the way it's going. With Magneto being the leader, I kind of feel like he shouldn't have his like old school Magneto garb on though. It feels weird.
But nostalgia though.
Yeah, but it's for some reason it feels weird to me that he's like still looks like Magneto and not like this more like fatherly like good version of Magneto. Like he still feels mysterious and scary on some level. But I think maybe they might change it over time just to like, and that's just to get you that initial shock of like seeing Magneto as like the leader of the X-Men.
Yeah,
like,
oh, what? What's gonna happen here? Oh,
yeah. But the Jimmy Hudson thing, I'm just like, I mean, I guess if you just need to have a Wolverine.
But we already have like 2. Okay, we have 3 Wolverines now. 4 if you count that Wolverine Hulk clone.
Nope, 5 if you count Ray's.
Oh, John. Okay, 5 Wolverines in the universe where Logan is dead.
Well, honestly, I don't even think Ray's is from the future, so I don't know if he counts. But I like it. That's another Wolverine son. Did you read the stuff with him?
Yeah, I read all new.
How'd you feel
X-Men.
about that? How'd you feel about him as a character?
I thought it was funny. Like, no, not funny. I thought it was interesting how he pretended to be Kitty, right?
Yeah, he pretended to be Jean Grey from the future.
Oh yeah, no. He was pretending to be Kitty because he shapeshifted into her, and there's that whole controversy of whether or not Ray's kissed his own dad.
No, it was Jean Grey for sure. Then.
Yeah, it's some weird Jean Grey thing, but like
Yeah.
the main thing was like Ray's was impersonating Kitty, and then like older Kitty runs to Wolverine, kisses him, and then like retroactively go look back and it's like, wait, what? Ray's just kissed his dad.
But I like
anyway.
Ray's because he's fucking insane. Like, that was cool. That was a cool character. There were people who didn't like him. There was somebody who posted, I like had to ask. I was like, why didn't you like Ray's? Like, he was fucking cool. He was just, because he's a fucking maniacal weirdo who kills people. Like, he doesn't care at all. He was gonna kill Nightcrawler. That's his brother. He gave two shits. Like, he doesn't care. And like, he knows, like, he's very aware of his connections to these people. Not one shit given. And he's just like he's just like a murderer. And like, it's just like everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong. And I like that. I like that his character with this like history and this thing going on. Unlike Jimmy Hudson.
There's nothing compelling about Jimmy.
Jimmy Hudson's character was like, he was Wolverine with white privilege. That's all he was.
But they're trying to shake it up because I heard he has no memory now.
Does he not have memory? Okay.
Yeah, they're trying to do a whole like, oh, I have a mysterious past, but we already know his past, and he's got that mind wipe thing that Wolverine had, so they're going for that angle.
Yeah, maybe they're going, because they could change his backstory now, because he might not be the same the same Jimmy from the Ultimate Universe. Kind of like Miles isn't exactly the same as he was in what's in the universe. Like, but you know, I'd prefer him to be some like weird half Japanese kid, or like he had sex with some weird woman in like Dubai or something. Like just weird mercenary chick who like shoots people in the head for no reason. Like that's who his mom should be.
Yeah, I can see that. Wolverine's always got that. Or a redhead. You know what?
Yeah.
He's got a thing for redheads.
Who
But I
does
think
that?
it's time to move on to the next little comic book thing.
What?
And, you know, speaking of just shameless cash grabs like this new Wolverine, Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe again.
I don't know if Jimmy's a shameless cash grab. I think that somebody someplace really likes him. But this might just be a shameless cash grab simply because Deadpool killed the Marvel Universe. Then there was Deadpool Illustrated, where he went back into literary history and killed Moby Dick and everybody who inspired the Marvel Universe. And then he was like, now I have to kill myself. At some point, how the fuck did he get back to the Marvel Universe? Like, where is he? What is he doing? What does that mean? Like, what do you mean he killed the Marvel Universe? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And why is everybody going against the entire Marvel Universe? I mean, that's a lot of people.
I mean, one, it sells comics, and two, it's a great title. Like, such and such kills the Marvel Universe.
Honestly, I really want to see. I keep having this thing. I really want to see them do, if they do like alternate storybooks, I really want to see them give characters to indie creators who like comics, and like people you like know. Like, I remember a few years ago, this was Faith Erin Hicks did a little mini comic about Morrow, who's an X-Men character most people don't like, but she likes that character, and I was like, actually, I would read that. You know, I would read what she's gonna do with this character, how she views this character. You know, I would love to see that. Not like these huge runs of books or like huge things, but just that exist to be these like what if storylines that I want to read, as opposed to like everyone's fighting.
Yeah, that's another thing. Which Monsters Unleashed. It was a crossover event. It was a title, Heroes versus Monsters. It wasn't heroes versus heroes. It wasn't this one guy turned bad and everyone has to fight him now. It wasn't Civil War. It was just an enemy and the Marvel Universe has to fight it.
Yeah.
And now it's Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe again. It's just... he's basically only doing this to kill the current Marvel Universe, like the status quo we have now, where it's like Sam Wilson Cap, Jane Foster Thor. It's basically an update of the old kills the Marvel Universe.
Yeah. That's unnecessary though. That's That's unnecessary. As
But Deadpool sells comics.
Donald Glover said on his album Royalty, why? Like, he does, but we had this thing with supply and demand where it's just like there's a high demand for something, and then we supply it to meet that demand specifically, and then that demand goes away completely. People need to understand if they want something to keep going, you only meet people a little bit. You only meet them like halfway, then you take it away.
Yeah, you don't give them Wolverine in every comic and then you take him away just to put like 5 new Wolverines out there.
Yeah, dude. Like, and this is a weird tangent, but it's connected. I really like the Rock Band series and the Guitar Hero series when that came out. And it literally did not serve out its like whole lifespan because one, Activision screwed over HarmonX and wanted them to release a game every 6 months. And they were like, no. And so then they released Rock Band on a regular schedule that made sense. But Activision had control of Guitar Hero. They released a Guitar Hero or Guitar Hero related game every 3.5 months. Guitar Hero 4 and 5 came out the same year. We were all done at that point. Like, no one was buying this pack again. It's a $100 game with all these things. And now it doesn't really exist at all because everybody was so like run out 5 years into it that like those games don't sell anymore. So the few people who do like that genre can barely get anything from it, you know? And people aren't going to give you license to say music when it doesn't have the same effect it had before.
Yeah. And also I have some like Rock Band stuff in that closet, but we're not going to look in that closet right now. We're here to talk about comics.
Yeah, but in that same sense, the same thing with X-Men a few years ago, and because it's weird because it's almost kind of good because they had to tone down the X-Men types. X-Men was half of the catalog of Marvel a few years ago because X-Men was popular in the 90s. But don't just throw everything at the wall. Like, make it make sense, you know? You got multiple characters. Wolverine's somehow on every X-Men team possible.
And every Avengers team.
Yeah, right? Because he's a popular character. And you're just like, this is literally happening at the same time. There's no way Wolverine got to these places. Like, be logical. If people want a Wolverine book, give them a Wolverine book. But keep Wolverine in maybe that book and maybe 2 other books. But don't put him in every book possible. That's weird. That doesn't make any sense. But because when Wolverine's in a book, he'll dominate the book. And maybe I don't read the book for Wolverine. You know, like, I didn't read Wolverine X-Men for Wolverine completely. I liked Wolverine in that book because he was kind of like, he was Dad Wolverine. As we saw with Logan, Dad Wolverine is the best Wolverine. But I read it for Quick and Quiet and Kid Apocalypse and Oya, who was the only character to survive Generation Hope for some weird reason. Like, not even Hope Summers is still around, and she outlasted Hope Summers. That's weird. But that was, to me, like, those characters, I thought they were really new and interesting, and I wanted to see what they were going to do with those characters. And there are books that people want to come back, like Runaways, that they haven't brought back at all. And then when they did bring it back, they didn't bring back any of the Runaways characters we knew. They just brought back Molly and a bunch of other characters we see all the time anyways.
Yeah, but they made them kids.
Yeah, they made them kids, and I didn't care. Because I just wanted to see the original Runaways cast. And they've done so much to those characters that now I really want to see them even more back together again. And they brought Alex back. It's like a weird villain in Heroes for Hire, and I didn't get to read that yet. But it's just like, stop giving us too much of what we want. Stop giving us exactly what we want. We not like, if you give a kid everything they want, then they just ask for more, and then they never satisfied. Like, give us a little bit. Give us a good Deadpool book. Give us Deadpool, and then Deadpool Mercs for money, and leave it at that. We don't need 38 Deadpool titles.
Maybe Spider-Man Deadpool, that's pretty fun.
Yeah, but like, don't do Spider-Man Deadpool as an ongoing. Do Spider-Man Deadpool
do the 90s thing where it's like a limited run.
Yeah.
It's like, this is 6 issues. This one's gonna be 8 issues.
So then, like the Spider-Man thing, right? That didn't turn into a whole book series. They did that once, and now they bringing it back. And me and you, as Spider-Man fans, are excited about that. We're like, oh, sweet, they bringing it back, and it's gonna be another limited run. Just do that, okay? Every time they do a Spider-Man Deadpool book, do a great, decent, sweet arc, and then wait, do another one next year, leave it at that.
But money, Damon, it's all about the money.
But I'm talking about money.
Yeah.
Because eventually, people stopped giving a shit about Guitar Hero. They was dropping that money for a minute. That money is gone. And Rock Band they really want to keep coming back, but it's not happening. Why? Because people just ain't got the fucking time or energy for that. It's other stuff to spend their money on. And you know, it's not, it doesn't seem like it's worth it, you know? And it's just like, well, you kind of know what's going to happen. And then once it starts sucking, then everyone's like, I don't want to be a part of this at all, you know? This is a business. You don't want a big burst of money all the time. Like, it's nice to have a big burst of money, but you want a sustainable income. And if you want that, you want a reason for people to keep coming back, not for them to come for a second. You know, it's kind of like when they do number ones. And everybody gets number one, and it sells really crazy for like 5 seconds, and then the series doesn't finish. And for everybody who got the number one because they were excited about that book and the writers and what was going on in that, we're all mad because the only reason that it came out in the first place was for that first book, but it gets canceled halfway through, and I don't get to finish that story. I'm still mad about Sith. That was like 4 years ago. Journey to Mystery with Sith was dope. If you didn't read it because Loki wasn't in it before, you the problem, and I don't like you. Come fight me.
You can find Damon at this address.
Yeah. And I don't know, like, and I feel like that happens too much. Like, people need to, like, listen. They need to just, like, they need to slow down. Or like this whole thing where they like workshopping stuff for the movies. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world. I don't hate it. Like, and sometimes when it's really cool, I like it. When I see them taking chances to see if they can do something new, and seeing if, okay, well, if we had to replace this character, who we replace them with, or who else could be popular in the Marvel Universe that we can make a viable character. That's cool. I mean, there's a certain extent to that. That's really dope. But when it means you're afraid to take chances with characters, and it means that certain characters are getting more attention than other characters, or people aren't caring about it, because back when they did it, at the start of this whole thing, with those stories like Ultimate Universe and stuff like that, which is where they draw a lot of movie stuff from, and they started like going, oh, we're gonna write these like movies. It was the hope that one day they could do these stories as movies. It wasn't, we're going to do these as movies. Let's figure out the formula. Like, don't do, like, just keep telling the same great, gripping stories that we love, you know? And I definitely don't have a problem with the new characters. I just want them to be good, and I want people to have thought about it. That's why I was so irritated by Jimmy Hudson as a character. He felt like he was just everything surface level that we liked about Wolverine, and none of the cool stuff that made him interesting. None of the characteristics that made him. He felt like what? Like, he just felt like some dude. Like, he could have been anybody. Or remember when they did Alpha? But Alpha was more of a, like, the output for Alpha was more of a, like, marketing scheme in itself. Like, Spider-Man gets a new sidekick, but I don't think they ever planned for him to last. Like, I thought that was always just supposed to be an arc of him dealing with a younger person with more powers than him. But that kid was boring.
Yeah. And I love how some people are like, Spider-Man has a sidekick now. It's like, no, that's not at all what it's going to be like.
Yeah. And it was really just about Spider-Man. It was Dan Slott putting Peter into an interesting situation and seeing how he dealt with it. And this kid had all his power, but he ended up disappearing. Like, what happened to him? He served his purpose. And I feel like that's why Dan Slott made him such a, like, Disney Channel lead character. It was like, we aren't supposed to care about this kid issues from now. Like, he's just this arrogant kid with powers. Who gives a shit about him later? But, like, doing that in all honesty is boring. You know? Like, if I want to watch Disney Channel, go watch Disney Channel. Like, I came here for comics. You know? And kids don't back comics as much as they used to. I back comics because I'm sad.
All right. But I think we're going to move on to something that might fix a bunch of these Marvel problems, or might just exasperate them to no end. Marvel Legacy, which was announced today, and we have no idea what it is, actually. Yeah. We just have the word Marvel Legacy.
The thing about it is, I thought Generations was supposed to be the, like, rebirth, like, I don't know, like, what is it?
Kind of like the catalyst for this new rebranding.
Yeah, like that. I thought that's, so I don't know. I'm not sure if Legacy is like a Marvel rebranding, like, marketing thing, or...
Well, it's said to be in the fall, and they always love to rebrand in the fall, because it's right after the movies came out, so everyone's interested. But the way I'm thinking, or this is just speculation, but it's like, Generations is your one-shots. This is going to be like 10 different issues that are just going to be like, here's the team up with Miles and Peter, or here's the team up with Carol and Marvel, and it's going to reunite old and new. And then Legacy is going to be like, everyone has a book. Everyone who's a Legacy character is going to have a book with their counterparts or something like that.
Or maybe it'll be them re-exploring. Maybe they'll use legacy as a thing. They're like, okay, you know how you thought you knew the old continuity, you really don't. We're going back, and then we're gonna retell those stories because they did that with. I don't know if you read Spidey. I haven't really read it either, but the whole concept of Spidey was young Peter Parker again,
which is a totally like. I'm sure kids love it. It's a modern retelling of Spidey, and
yeah,
he's got smartphones and social media. But for me, it's like, no, I like when they flash back to Peter Parker's childhood and he still looks like he's in the 60s. Which leads into that whole, like, did Franklin Richards kind of, like, keep this universe of superheroes looking young while time just moves on?
Maybe he just altered the way maybe people just age differently in the Marvel Universe. Like, I always like to tell myself that with the X-Men storyline, timeline, that decades are really short in that universe. Like, they're like, this is the 80s. It really was like 2 years. Like,
yeah, that explains why Peter Parker was in high school in like the 60s.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
yeah, I can't remember like what I did 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago, but it was the 60s. Or like, for some strange reason, in the Marvel Universe, in the 90s, everyone dressed like that. Like, that was, well, for Peter, it would be like the 80s. Like, in the 80s, that was, like, they just had this weird period of time for 4 years.
No, I think it'd be like the 90s for him.
Yeah. Well, everybody dressed like it was the 60s. And we all just deal with that.
That's why he was so square back in the day.
Exactly.
Everyone was listening to Eminem. He was stuck in the 60s.
Exactly. Oh man, that'd be such a funny book. I would die if it was just like a weird flashback and everyone else had smartphones and stuff, but like Peter was just like, "Hey, you guys, let's go to the sock hop." Like,
yeah, he's like Archie in the. Oh, want to go to the homecoming dance?
Yeah, exactly. Let's go to the sock hop and get some egg creams. Oh, wowzers, you guys! Like.
Oh golly, that Liz Allen. I sure do have a crush on her.
It's just like, Peter, do you have a phone? A phone? I got one at the house. The rotary dial, like, not like a cell phone. No, what? Why would what's a cell phone? That small device? Wowzers! What kind of technology is this? Like,
Peter, you developed web shooters, but
I know, right? Yeah, right.
You don't know what a cell phone is. Golly.
He was just like a rager hipster. He was just like such a hipster. He did not have himself.
I would love that if Peter's past, he's just a total, like, this is a phase where he's, every year, he's like, now I'm going to dress like I'm in the 70s. Now I'm going to have a mullet in the 90s. Peter, that was 3 years ago. Right. You had a mullet in 2015.
Why would you do that to yourself?
It's like, what? This is what we do?
Yeah.
We're doing man buns now?
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. No.
Yeah, no. Oh, that's fantastic. What if they gave Peter a man bun now? That they never do that, but that'd be funny. I'm surprised they don't have any characters with man buns. That
I'm sure there is, but it's like...
They're like background characters.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm never really excited about these events, simply because, like, as a fan and as a person, I just feel like they're going to be these periods of time where the books aren't as good.
Yeah. This is Marvel's New 52 era where it's just like, they're throwing stuff, it's not really sticking to the wall, so they're just going to throw more stuff.
Like, there's just always going to be that time when it happens. Like, as much as people talk about the New 52, there's plenty of books I found that I liked. I mean, there were certain books I didn't like. Like, I hated what they did with Teen Titans. And there was just other books that people just wouldn't agree on. Like, I really loved Wonder Woman, Brian Azzarello's Run, Run, Run. A lot of people didn't like it for some weird reason, but then there was the one that came after that. So maybe they need to shut up and enjoy that one because they hate Great Wonder Woman so much. Just being a dick now. But yeah, no, like I really like that, or like Flash, or Batman. Batman, we can all agree Batman was great. Superman probably wasn't good, but you know, it's good now, and it's nice that it's good again. Like we just like part of me just feels like we need to just enjoy the now. And when it's not good, it's not good. Leave it alone. Who cares?
Yeah.
But
don't worry, it's all cyclical. It'll all come back.
Yeah. I mean that's the nature of comics. I don't understand how comic book fans, superhero fans, get so mad about it.
You changed this one thing.
Yeah, like we
but
literally
in 2 years
do this.
It's gonna go back.
Yeah, literally 2 years from now, like they go back and forth on who's good and who's not. I still have Marvel books that I'm enjoying right now, and that's all I care about. I mean, if I don't like it, I don't pick it up again. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Only time I get mad is when a book I like gets canceled or it's cut short. Spider-Woman, I love that book, and I got the last issue. Also, if they stop doing Black Widow, I didn't explain this book to you. This book is amazing. Black Widow, the Arkham Black Widow that they just, it's so good. Also, the movie, like it's just like, oh, okay, this is what the movie should be. It's so good. I cannot recommend it enough. What are you doing with your life? Are you not reading Black Widow? Get yourself out. Go read some Black Widow. Like, go do that right now. It's so dope.
But also read Renew Your Vows because it's pretty awesome.
Exactly. Like, but there are books, like there are Marvel books that I like, and there are DC books that I like right now a lot. I mean, I'm not mad that all the Marvel books aren't good.
I'm upset that X-Men is terrible.
Yeah,
well,
like,
for the most part, it is. I don't.
Yeah,
Old Man Logan.
It's been not very good. For the last year or so.
I mean, for the last, I want to say 3 years.
3?
Maybe 2 or 3 years.
I feel like I'm gonna say because it started like right after. I'm gonna say it started right before Force Awakens came out, because that's when everybody started leaving X-Men books so that they could work with Star Wars books.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because they're all nerds.
And now if you look at it, it's the top 5 for like the monthlies now is like everything's DC Rebirth except for that one Star Wars book.
Yeah.
Or that few Star Wars books that might end up in there.
But so yeah, like they kind of switched off, and people had to finish awkward, arcs and stuff, and like it was like But I feel like I do want to see what X-Men is going right now. They bringing it back, which is nice. I'm glad they like building that out a little bit. I still feel like with the whole Bobby Drake thing, I just feel like I was out of the loop. Everybody apparently just thought Bobby was gay this entire time and didn't tell me. But
I was caught off guard too. I was like, what?
But at the same time, Cindy Grace is a really great writer and a good artist. I don't know why he's not drawing it, but he's a good writer. So I'm not really worried about that. Like I'm definitely gonna check that book out at some point and see it. But I feel like I'm still not gonna get it. Like I'm still not gonna be like, I feel like I'm gonna be like, but Bobby used to date so and so and that one girl. Like, I just feel like Bobby was so straight in the past. Like, if they turned Tim Drake gay, I would not be fazed at all about it. He'd be the same character.
I'd be like, what?
I wouldn't be. It's weird because for me, like Tim has never had any relationships that for me.
Stephanie Brown.
Even Stephanie Brown was kind of like, like Steph died, and he was just kind of like, oh.
Oh no!
Oh, you died.
My beard's dead.
Right? No, like, and it's not like if they leave him straight, it's gonna bother me. It's just saying that like other characters like Tim turning them gay wouldn't be as a surprise to me. But Bobby was like, he always trying to talk to somebody. Like I feel like it's just like always this thing he's doing, and then to be like, oh, he's gay. Like what? It just felt like I didn't understand. I feel like if he was gay, he would have came out a long time ago. Like, I feel like at this point, it's weird to me. It's honestly weird to me that Bobby's coming out in his, like, late 20s. Like, what? Of all people? Like, I feel like he wouldn't. I feel like it doesn't really match his personality. It's just a weird thing I don't get.
But then if you think about the Marvel timeline, it's like he grew up in the 60s, which was apparently, like, 10 years ago. going back to that weird thing. Yeah.
But at the same time, it might end up being a really cool book, and it might make me get it. So I'm not about to be. I kind of feel like we hear too many complaints sometimes when it comes to comics, and
it seems to be more about hating. It's cool to hate. So if you can nitpick any little thing in a comic, like there are a lot of comics right now, Marvel comics, who are just god awful, and like why is this a thing that you try to push? Why are you trying to push the Inhumans so hard? I know there's a lot of people who like the Inhumans, but everything can't be the Inhumans.
Inhumans are equal to Fetch. Stop trying to make Inhumans a thing. I don't. I keep trying to get into it and I can't. Like, it's not happening. I like don't know why. It just, I guess because on some level it kind of feels like they trying to be some version of the X-Men and they not the X-Men. And I don't have a problem with Inhumans all over the place, like characters that are inhuman appearing in the landscape, but like the Inhuman World family and all that stuff is just like not connecting with me, and I can't really say why, but I don't know. I mean, Karnak's cool.
Oh yeah, any bald guy with martial arts is cool.
Yeah, right. Just like he comes through and he's just like, whoosh, you're just like sweet Karnak. Like, I don't even know how I feel about the show is coming out and actually pretty soon. It'll be like September. Or something.
September 1st.
Yeah, the movie. Do you want to go see that? We're going to see it.
Yeah, we'll see that. You heard it here first, guys. We're gonna go see the movie.
And then we're gonna.
If you didn't think we were before, we are now.
We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about our experience, our IMAX experience.
Yeah. Oh, the seats are so nice.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the seats for 5 minutes and then talk about the movie. Like, it was all right.
It was all right. Yeah, those seats though. I mean, I hope it's cool. I hope I'm like, you know what? This is awesome. Like. I was excited about, like...
Oh, no. Actually, I have to bring up a few set photos have come out about the Inhumans. Medusa has no hair.
What?
Black Bolt has no mask. Crystal, her costume, everyone's like, about it. But Medusa has, like, no long hair. Like, it's just average length. Unless they're gonna CGI long hair.
They probably are, but, like... That's what I was like. I think I saw the long hair thing, and I was like, they probably gonna like CGI that or something, or maybe it's gonna be like, maybe the stuff we've seen is before her Terrigenesis. Maybe they haven't shown like the reason why we haven't seen Black Bolt's mask, we haven't seen all that stuff is because it ain't time for that yet. We ain't earned that yet, you know? Because these are set photos. These are not the like.
Oh yeah.
All of this is stuff people like.
Yeah, taking snapshots on the side of the street.
Hey, who are you? Nobody? Get the fuck out! You take a picture! Like, ah! Did I tell you about? Oh no, I didn't tell you about the time. This is Marvel related, so it's not crazy. But around the time they were filming, I want to say either Luke Cage or Iron Fist. I was in New York, and I went to, mind you, I went to Harlem. I was looking for something. I got lost, and I was walking around, and then there was, if you go to New York, they're always like. People filming stuff, and I was like wandering around. I was like, what's going on over here? What's this? And then I asked the guy. He was like, oh, they filmed some Netflix series, and he said some name. It was like Against the Ropes, and I was like, that's not a fucking thing. Like,
that sounds like the fakest title I've ever heard.
Right? So then I'm like walking around this set, right, and they're like outside of a warehouse. So I see them going in and out. I see some like guys in ninja costumes. I shit you not, they were like ninja costumes. I was like, what's this ninja costume?
Wait, so.
This looks like some Marvel. What is this, right? So, and I know like they film all the Marvel stuff in New York, so I'm like, this is probably some Marvel stuff, you know, like trying to get a good glimpse, trying to see if I can see, you know, Jeff Lowe, Joe Quesada, just like wandering around, right? So then I walk around the entire thing, and then I see this group of people, and there's like kids and like there's ladies who look like they're like the moms of these kids, and they all have comic books, new comic books, comic books that came out today. All of which are Marvel comic books, and I'm just like, what's going on, you guys? Oh, you're just outside. I was just like, oh, you guys are just outside. You guys have comics books to come about. I was just like, oh, I was like, all right. I was like, all right. I was like, what's this going on over here? So, I think I saw some Iron Fist stuff beforehand, you know. Before I realized it was gonna be disappointing, but it was pretty cool. Like, I don't know. But it just seemed like really suspicious, and I was like, that was that story. But it was just like I tried to touch it up with voices and act outs, but like, you know, hopefully it worked. But like
hopefully that carries over to radio.
Yeah, to radio. Yeah, but like that. You're just like, what is this? So like that was cool, and but you can't see everything. That's my point. Like they was inside this warehouse, probably. Yeah. Shooting that scene where Danny has to fight like 6 dudes in the most disappointing way possible. Like it's just, yeah. So we might. I feel like the if it's a show, like it's probably gonna end. That first like 2 hours is gonna end with Black Bolt just going all like mask on and just like Blackagar, like
Blackagar Boltagon.
Yes, Mr. Boltagon. How are you today?
Don't call me by my human name. Just call me Jefferson. I don't know.
Blackagar Jefferson.
Call me Grant. That'll be my new human name.
Grant. I want him to go with that.
He looks like a Grant.
He does. He does look like a Grant.
Hey Grant, you mind helping me with my tax paperwork?
Grant Boltagon. Can you help me with Oh, like Medusa's like we seeing her like walk around and like she has to like meet Black Bolt and they're like, oh, you gotta marry this dude. She's just like, but he doesn't say words. And she's just like, he's like, he can't. He'll level cities. Oh, what? And so then they like stick in the Terrigenesis and she's just like, no. And then she comes out and her hair gets all long and crazy and it's like all over the world, like tendrils around and stuff. Or maybe she can grow her hair in a moment or something just to make it easier on the like graphics effects team because they ain't trying to spend that much money.
Oh yeah,
on effects all the time.
We're on a TV budget here.
Exactly. I mean, I was surprised how good blah, 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 turned out.
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Especially after they did Gorgon or Hydra, Mr. Hydra or whatever. He was
Hive.
Yeah, Hive was not. He looked like a video game character, in not in the best way. It didn't take me so much out of it, but it was just like in the back of my mind, I was just like, this doesn't look right. This is obviously fake. Like, but I'll let it slide because it's TV, and I know I ain't got money to just be thrown around on a show that's like only floundering its head afloat sometimes.
Yeah, actually, season 5 might be the last one.
Really?
Yeah, recently there was some news that came out. They're probably going to cancel it by the end of Infinity War, so...
Oh, so what, the upcoming season is the last one?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, if they give us a season, that's alright, because then they can, like, close everything out in a cool way. But hopefully that means that they can, like, grab some people from the show and actually put them in movies. Like, I like Daisy a lot. I think she's a fun character. She's a character that grew on me. Everyone, like, I didn't like Skye in the first season, but when she became Daisy, I was like, this girl is cool. I like her a lot. I like seeing her and stuff. And then I'm kind of mad that they really wanted to do, like, they didn't do some version of, like, I feel like if they did a Mockingbird show, it should have been Mockingbird and not the other, like, her husband dude. I hate that dude. Fuck that dude. He, not the actor. I don't know who he is, but he's fine. Like, you as an actor, fine. You did a decent job. I just didn't care for your character as much as they really wanted me to care about this dude, and I was like, who the fuck this dude, right? I actually kind of wanted if we shipping anybody, I wanted to ship Bobby and what's his face, the big one, Mac.
Oh,
early on I was like, that'd be cool. Yeah. But I like Bobby Morris. If they would have like given her own team and then like had it be like a whole agency, thing where she was like this covert unit over here, and that was a show, and then you brought in characters like Jessica Drew, and like, because Jessica Drew started off as a Hydra agent who got turned over, and then she could be, and that would be cool, and then they would be like a team, and they would fight, people and each other, and live together in a loft apartment in
upstate New York.
New Brunswick. one of those history neighborhoods, and what's the name can come in sometimes, but they don't keep him around because they got married. That's boring. No one wants to see a show about married people. That isn't that's not fair.
Well, who wants to see a show about a married family that's not a sitcom? I don't know.
No, I feel like it can work, but like, especially when one of them is super cool and the other one isn't that cool. Like, that's what it was. It's that they were married and he wasn't that cool. Like, he was always, like, barely making it through situations and getting all beat up and just way too confident in himself. And he was just like, But, like, or, like, bring in, like, Yo-Yo. I like Yo-Yo. I thought she was cool. She needs to be way more on the show than she is.
Yeah.
So I'm still really excited about Cloak and Dagger and New Warriors and stuff. So that's happening. And hopefully the last season goes out with a bang, because we know that it's possible Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., even if sometimes they drop the ball.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when was the last time they dropped the ball? I haven't even kept up with the season, so I don't know.
This season's been okay. Last season kind of fell off at some point, but it kept me interested enough. That's only because I think I like corny stuff. So I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And I don't think under like harsher scrutiny it would have held up. But the first half of it, but the second season was dope. Oh man, all the stuff with the Inhumans and Sky's mom. That's what actually, I was like, maybe I should be reading this Inhuman stuff, because I was like, this is pretty cool.
But then you read it, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like I
I feel like I'm supposed to understand these characters a lot more. I feel like I would like it more if, one, everybody didn't act like they were all royal and stuff in this day and age, and the way they like were like very like everyone's like, oh yeah, like we just marry each other for dowries, yeah, not the band Daughtry. No one would marry anybody if all you got was Daughtry. That'd be sad.
Here's the band Daughtry. It's like, oh, you can keep that.
Yeah, just take your Diet Creed back. Not even Diet Creed, it's Creed Zero. Like, just take it back. Take back your 0 calories Creed. But yeah, no. Yeah, it just feels like they in a whole nother place that I don't care about. And I feel like I should know the history of a little bit more. Like, honestly, they might be able to get me if they did like a whole like this is how the Inhumans started. This is the past, and where like this is not just like not telling me like the Kree origin part, but like how they became a royal family and that whole thing, and what other cities are out there.
Yeah, make it Game of Thrones. That'll be nice.
Yeah, make some Game of Thrones medieval like swords and sorcery stuff. Like, that's what I was talking about earlier, with like other people coming in and making like not even making a whole series, but like doing like a graphic novel that's like that comes out once. It's just like with the original graphic novel, Marvel, they don't release those half as much as they should, probably because they never bring in extra talent. They don't often bring in people just to do those, which they should. That would be cool. Like, just bam. Because I actually really like those. They did Age of X, I think it was. Well, no, it wasn't Age of X. It was another X-Men book. I can't remember what it was. And Rage of Ultron, which was way cooler than I thought it was gonna be. Yeah, that was a cool book. But to like it would be dope for them to be like, hey, Brian Lee O'Malley, make your version of the X-Men, and we won't tell you to do anything except make it the X-Men. You can add new characters. You can take your favorite characters and give them weird backstories. Whatever, do it. Bam. And I would read the crap out of that. I would buy it in a hot second. Just like, thank you. Bad twice when they released the Section Addiction. You know what I'm saying? Like, it sounded like I said Second Addiction, which...
It's like you have an addiction, but...
Yeah. But yeah, that would be cool. Or any of the other really great creators out there that would work on comics if they had the chance, work on superhero comics, but just have made like their own, create their own stuff their priority, because that's where their money mainly comes from, and who they bring in a fan base like Jin Yang, who's working on New Superman. He does really cool stuff, and his graphic novels are great. And New Superman is pretty fun. But I think I'm running out of steam. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Do you want to close out the show?
Yeah, let's get out of here. So
all
you guys like and subscribe, share. This is Nerd Boy Comic Book Marco, you said.
All right, I'll say it because I'm well versed in this now. All right, guys, this has been Nerd Boys Comic Book Podcast. I'm Marco.
I'm Damon.
And make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.
Peace.